All right, we are about to get started with our classic score attack community showcase. Just give me one moment. Welcome in Crunchy, Haunt. Who else is here early? Just you two so far. Hope you're having a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. All right, let's get started. Oh, where is my camera? One sec. That's because I was in a meeting earlier. And poof, there I am. Welcome in, everybody. I am Austin, the community developer here at Enhance, and we're about to get started with a community showcase. If you would like to play in tonight's showcase, anybody is allowed to play. Some classic score attack in friendly matches. I will drop the Discord and let me know if you want to participate in the chat. I'll be happy to get you in here. And yeah, let's get started. I'm going to kick it off with just some single player while we get warmed up here. Or as we get all your players in here. So definitely let me know if you want to play tonight. So tonight we are going to be playing some classic score attack, which is also available as a single player mode. And I like to personally start on level 18, which is a little trickier, but I've played a lot of Tetris, so we'll hop into it here. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. Have any of you been playing any Tetris lately? Any new accomplishments? No matter how big or small, it all depends. It's a matter of perspective. But yeah, feel free to let us know if you have any new high scores, anything you'd like to share, any experiences you have with the game. We're going to spectate some matches today between community members. Might not be I'm already dead. Might not be too long of a stream today. I don't think we have too many participants, but we're going to enjoy it. Hunt had a 186 lines from an M29 start, which is quite impressive on the master mode for anyone that has had the chance to play that mode. Welcome in, Shock 59. Yes, an excellent moment to tune in there. So yes, we are playing classic score attack tonight, as you see on your screen, or your mobile device if you are tuning in from Instagram. This is a near perfect rendition of the classic score attack available on the original NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. Even if you're a European, there is the PAL version available, which is actually a different version that was only available in Europe at the time because of different hardware. So even if you are European, you can play the old school Tetris the way that you experienced it in Tetris Effect, which is pretty cool. And if you haven't experienced it, PAL is actually kind of fun to try out because, get real nerdy here. I guess the PAL NES hardware or the European Nintendo had a different frame rate, so to deal with that, the piece movement was a bit faster, going from left to right because level 19 was faster on the PAL version. So yeah, definitely check that out. That is in effect modes, as you see being played currently. Never seen this stream thing before, but I love the game of Tetris. Well, welcome in. Yes, and this stream is open to anybody to participate. We like to spectate matches between community members, so if you want to participate, even tonight, I think tonight we have a lower participant count, or in the future, be sure to join our enhanced Discord. If you're familiar with Discord, at discord.gg/enhance, and we will get you in here. And it could be fun just to have someone commentate your game, even if you're not that great. So, but yeah, pretty chill vibes every Friday. We are planning from time to time to do like a more high-level showcase, which we've done in the past, actually with this game mode, between known players like Blue Scooty, who broke the game of Tetris recently. Yeah, every Friday we're planning to have something, as long as we're available here at Enhance. Oh yeah, that's right. In Australia, they also had the PAL room. That's correct. My first PlayStation 4 was the Australian one. So I have an Australian power adapter, actually. But yes, if you are tuning in for the first time, definitely don't be shy. Happy to answer any questions about any game modes. It doesn't just have to be this game mode. If you are new to the game, we always have new players playing Tetris Effect, so happy to have you be part of our community night. If you would like to play a match against a friend or somebody else from the community, definitely let us know. If you are struggling with this game mode in particular, because classic Tetris can be brutal if you are not familiar with how to navigate the piece movement, because as you can see, the piece locks in instantly as it touches the bottom, right? So you don't have too much wiggle room. You kind of have to find the flow, get into the zone a little bit, and really utilize that piece preview is really how you kind of navigate without too many errors. Because this mode can spiral out of control very quickly. There's also multiple ways to control your pieces in this. Some people like to tap from left to right. Personally, I like to use the automatic piece movement, so hold left or right, for example, which is what we see right now on the screen. Or you could roll, which is like, I don't know if anybody here follows classic Tetris tournaments, but rolling means like almost like treating the controller like a piano, where you want to like utilize all your fingers to get maximum piece movement. It's kind of crazy. so, okay, when you start on level 18 at 130 lines, the pieces move a little bit faster. So one mistake can be the end when it gets this fast. Like, that's a pretty rough mistake right there. But fortunately, got a long bar. And as you may know, when you play this mode, it is random pieces. So when you play modern Tetris, you're bound to get a long bar within every like 14 pieces or 13. But in classic Tetris, it can be, you might not see a long bar for 100 pieces. You never know. If you're really unlucky. It looks like we are going to top out here. Welcome in, Narso. When does the connected events start? Like connected versus showcase? I think we're due for that next week. But we could also, is that what you're referring to? Feel free to elaborate. But we could also play some connected versus games tonight. I think we have a pretty small participant count for classic score attack, so if you are interested, we can play some co-op tonight. Let's go. I agree. So we're going to hop into some multiplayer and spectate some community matches of all levels. And don't be shy if you want to participate. As long as the matches are close and fun to watch, we are happy to have all skill levels here. So we are about to have actually a pretty close matchup, I think, between community members Hunt and, I want to say Mambo. Yes, Mambo. So if you two are in the chat, get ready to play. I'm going to drop a room code for you. While we do that, let's hide the room code. I am full screen momentarily. All right. But yes, hope everyone is having a good Friday. It's Friday evening here, 6:14 on Eastern time, but I know we get viewers from all over the place. Are you guys good with the first of the three? Yeah, we can do first of the three. We don't have too many players tonight. So we are going to wait for our players to join. There's Mambo, and we are also going to see Haunt Nog appear in a moment. So these players are going to play first of three wins or best of five, however you like to specify the format, and we're going to have a good time. I will drop the Discord link if you want to participate tonight or in the future. Drop it now in Instagram, dropped it on Twitch, and let's drop it in YouTube as well. All right, we need to let me set it to, there we go. First of three, good luck, have fun. Yes, thank you, Mambo. So we'll see what level these two decide to play. Maybe a 15 or 18 might be most likely. Looks like our players chose level 15 today. Which, when you climb the ranks in Tetris Effect Classic Score Attack, the minimum level you can choose increases. So the higher ranked you are, the faster level speeds you have to play on. And it maxes out at either level, you can pick between level 15 and 18. So a lot of players like to pick level 15. I think if you're a top level player, almost always you're going to pick 18 just because that's also the standard for classic Tetris tournaments in general. However, in our previously hosted online tournaments, you can pick level 15 as well. But yes, welcome in Vocal Nutria. Hope you're doing well tonight. Yeah, Narso, if you want to play, just find, we have a thread on the Discord. Well, I'll tag you in that thread if you do want to participate in any matches tonight. I'd be down to play somebody as well, if anyone's looking for a match, or if they want to challenge enhanced staff, I suppose. Always happy to. Uh-oh. It looks like we are going to have a top out on the left. However, Mambo is not in the clear just yet, so they're behind by 36,000 points. Oh, is there no hurry-up set up? Why do I not see a hurry-up timer? I definitely didn't disable that. That's odd. Well, anyways, I guess, yeah, so they only need to clear 30,000 points to get caught up here. But classic Tetris can spiral out of control depending on how lucky you are with the pieces. Mambo has a pretty good approach here by just bringing the board all the way down, playing it safe. They may set up for this Tetris. Not the cleanest board. Like, you're going to need certain pieces to fill out the left there. Only 14k. One Tetris will do it. Or they can take their sweet time, clear some doubles, triples. Looks like a doubles around 2,000. Ooh, even hitting that T-spin, as you can hear the sound effect. The satisfying T-spin sound effect. I don't know why there's no hurry up, actually. I don't think maybe I accidentally disabled it. We can turn it back on later. I did not mean to disable it if I did. Fortunately, there's nothing on the line here except pride. But we're chilling. We're vibing. Alright, and Mambo does take it. And it looks like they lagged out for a moment right at the right when they won. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. That rollback netcode in action. And looks like Mambo takes game one. Not quite the Tetris rate, but the survivability goes a long way. Do some more level 15 action. That is correct. I think they were well within catching up there with if there was a hurry-up timer. And for those of you that are wondering what a hurry-up timer is, usually when someone tops out in Tetris Effect connected to Classic Score Attack, a timer approaches, and you have 2 minutes to get caught up on score. So depending on how far behind you are, you can adjust how aggressive you want to play for Tetris line clears. if you know you're well within, like, if you're pretty close in score, you don't need to go for a Tetris. You could just clear some single, doubles, triples, keep your board low, and eventually you'll win. But sometimes you get some pretty big score leads in this game, which can be pretty fun to watch at a high level to see how a player decides to adapt to the situation. Ooh, some rough placements from Haunt. They are clear for hopefully a long bar soon. Okay, they decide to burn. That is probably smarter. The safe play from Haunt. They want to get back to this right well. So typically in classic Tetris, you are going to always... It is undoubtedly the best way to stack is Tetris wells on the right side. It doesn't really matter too much for modern Tetris, but in classic Tetris, because of how the pieces are oriented and how the rotation system works, there is a lot of advantages to having your pieces on the right side, or your Tetris well on the right side. For one, your long bars take less time to get to the right side in classic Tetris, so you can stack a little higher without your long bar not being able to get to the well. And there are some clever like spins you can do and ways to clear your board on the right that you can't do on the left side. So yeah, at high level, you're just going to see players more often than not have their Tetris well on the right side. Of course, they might land in situations where it's down the middle, but generally right side. Looks like Haunt is going to hang another piece there, and they are already behind, so Mambo is good for game number 2. So it looks like Haunt Nog chose the snake as their avatar, and then we have the lanternfish from Mambo. I don't see the lanternfish too often. Alright, so can Haunt bring this back? Obviously, it looks like Haunt understands what they have to do, but it is easier said than done because the control is very limiting on this game mode by design, because this is meant to mimic the old school Tetris control, everything about it. It is pretty much identical to the old school Tetris game. You're only going to notice differences if you play at the very, very highest level. You might notice a few quirks, but it is pretty much just classic Tetris. Haunt with a good start, but now they have some long bar dependencies, so we'll see if they can clean this board up. Haunt is a very strong modern Tetris player. I think they like to play a lot of the master mode, which is available as an effective mode, so like high gravity modern Tetris play. I don't think they're quite as experienced here at Classic, but skills do carry over. If you're good at one version of Tetris, you're likely good at another game mode or version as well. You have a knack for pattern recognition. And there are some similar like strategies that apply. Mambo set up for a T-spin. Oh, they missed the spin. And they also hung that long bar on the left side. So bringing their stack down, hopefully they can get something over that. They get the long bar. They do get the piece over. And they're ahead by 2,000 points, so Mambo will take the set. GG. Would you two like to play any more? We have barely any players tonight, which is rare. So if you guys want to play another set, you are welcome to. And I'll probably play some games after. I think Policy, I know Policy wanted to play tonight, so we'll see if we can get them in here. Alrighty, how's our game looking here to start? It's like looks like level 15 is going to be the go-to here between these two players. See if they decide to mix it up at all. I like level 15. We have the nice pastel-like color scheme. Good casual level pace as well, at least at the highest for high level players, for players that play a lot of Tetris. Yeah, so I think there will be a CTWC, so there is a Classic Tetris World Championship happening this May, which we will likely have some kind of presence at, which is in Pasadena, California, so pretty much Los Angeles, which should be fun. Alright, Mambo is knocking down those Tetrises. See if Haunt Nog can bring down their board here. So far, so good. Open up that left well. If they can get a long bar for that left side, that'd be perfect. There we go. So they're now Tetris ready. Getting Tetrises is the name of the game. So, yeah, the scoring is considerably higher in Classic Tetris for scoring a Tetris, obviously. So. They're going to get over 10,000 points for each Tetris, whereas for singles, doubles, triples, it is significantly lower. So with that being said, all these Tetrises, Haunt should be getting caught up quite quickly. Yeah, so it looks like one more Tetris will do it. Or they can play it safe and get some doubles and triples. We'll see if they want to go out in style or not. They do go for the triple, which was 5,000 points. Alright, just a few more lines should do it. It's like one more Tetris. There we go. And Haunt takes their first win of the night. Nice Tetris rate. 60% is pretty high. Had it 80% from Mambo, but they topped out early, possibly because they were trying to get as many Tetrises as possible. When you play aggressive like that, you tend to try to get more... When you try not to burn any lines... Oh, we have a level 18 start, so a little bit faster. We'll see how Haunt can handle this. Or how both players can handle this, for that matter. So level 18 starts are the standard start for high-level offline and online Classic Tetris tournaments. So if you ever are going to watch like Classic Tetris World Championship, for example, this is the level you're going to see them start on. Which you can play in Tetris Effect Connected, whether it's versus or single player. If you're watching from home and you're like, I can crush these kids, these adults, whatever age they are, in some classic Tetris. I played on the Game Boy. I know what I'm doing. Prove it in Tetris Effect. Oh, Mambo with an early top out, and Hot Nog is already in the lead. So they are good. They crushed it on level 18 here. And also look at that piece distribution. That was like 6 out of 8 were S pieces. So if you're not familiar with watching classic Tetris head-to-head matchups, let's break down this UI, this user interface in front of you. Or like, yeah, so you can see the score box to the top right of each player's board. And as you can see, because Haunt pressed down a little bit, they're actually ahead to start the game. Yeah, so if you need to know like how many points do I need to get caught up against my opponent, in Haunt's case, you could be like, oh, I need 15,000 points because it's in the red there to actually get caught up. And if you're on the right, you can be like, oh, I'm 15,000 points ahead. I can play a little safer. I don't need to play super aggressive. Also, look at that piece hang from Mambo. Oh, they don't get that piece over. Level 18 is pretty hard to deal with. And Haunt is not in the clear just yet. There's that rollback net code, making up for time there. They are at the bottom of their board, so they just need to kind of play safe, but you never know in classic Tetris what's going to happen. Looks like it's a little laggy here. Oh, welcome in, Pudapio. Would you like to play tonight? Some more matches, more people interested. Yeah, Cockwick pointing out we had 4 S's in a row, which is actually kind of brutal. All right, so both players with the sweep. So we had a 3-0 win for Mambo and a 3-0 win for Hot Nog. GG's, guys. Pudapio, yeah, if you'd be interested in playing, you're welcome to. I can tag you on the Discord if you would like. What is your name on Discord? Or Oop, right? That's. Or no, did you change your name on Discord? I can't find you. Oh, it's because you have a 0. Really making things difficult for me. Oh, you're Catquick. Okay, okay. Numbers. Yeah, I guess numbers. We need a matchup for you. 5,700. Would you like to play? We could play friendly. I could put on a Nerf or something like that if you want to play. Send you the room code. All right, yeah, let's get you in here. Do we want to turn on any funky settings to make up for... I do play a lot of classics, so let's see. Why is hurry up off? Did I accidentally hit? Oh, I must have accidentally hit it. Okay. Level 10? Okay, we can do level 10. Let's actually do level 12, which is the same as level 10. Here, you want a buff? We can give you a buff. Or I could have a nerf. I don't know how much this actually nerfs you in Classic. T-spin bonus? I'll leave that up to you. If you want a buff, feel free to add one, just for fun. Oh, Shock, would you like to play? I think you might be around the same skill level. I think Numbers is like a 5,000 rating player. Up to you, though. You think you're below the default? Oh, below 3,500. It's funny, Classic really doesn't... Our best modern Tetris player, for example, or one of our best, Kazu, they can't click with Classic. Some players can't bridge the gap so easily, or tend to have like a skill set more geared for one game mode than the other. So yes, level 10 through 12 are actually the same speed, but you get more score on level 12, so a lot of players like to start on level 12 for those high scores. Also, you have to respect level 12 as well. You can still mess up on any speed for that matter. Because typically, even if you're like an experienced player and you play on a lower speed, you're going to try to stack for more Tetrises, which then ends up that you play more aggressively and still top out. Akashi Robo is pretty good, that's correct. Also, Pooh, if you want to play, just there is a thread on the Tetris Effect chat in the Discord. Feel free to hop in if you want to play any matches. Oh, you're in a train right now, okay. No worries. Everyone's busy tonight. So this setup on the left here, it's called a Vits. Actually, you got a square first, so we're gonna put the square in there. It's called VITS, vertical. What's it stand for? Vertical eyepiece tuck setup. Vertical eyepiece tuck setup, right? Something like that. It's a common word in the classic Tetris community, or common acronym. Pretty much when you set up for here, we can do it right here. Wait, no, I messed that up. That was Uh-oh, numbers does top out. Here, let's see if we can get a bits real quick. So right here. Bloop. Tuck that long bar in there. It can be helpful in certain situations. Don't always want to force it, though. Oh yeah, Rocky is very good at Classic, as we saw in the 2023 Trifecta finals against Super Shocky. They were thrown down. Y'all added Classic Tetris, Joker says from Instagram. We did. This was part of the Connected expansion. First available on, I want to say, Xbox in late 2020. So yeah. And it was recently added as a single player mode, so if you're not into the versus shenanigans, you can play Classic Tetris alone and go for some high scores in the effect mode section of Tetris Effect. And yeah, for those of you that have any questions about this rule set in particular, feel free to ask. It's a little harder than it looks because of the limitations of the controlling pieces from left to right, how it instantly locks. So once the level speed increases, it gets pretty tricky. Saying, I love this game. The soundtrack for this game is amazing. Yes, a lot of people resonate with the soundtrack. And just like the visual audio experience that the Journey mode has, right? I think most of our players, that's what they resonate with in the game. Less than the community aspect, but you know, we still like to support our community with tournaments, ongoing Friday sessions like this, just to talk about Tetris, because why not? Has Tetris made any of you cry? Some people have that experience or Tetris Effect. They're like, just a combination of the music and the visuals and whatnot. Some people get a cool experience from it. The enhanced experience, if you will, or if I may. Yes, the soundtrack is totally awesome. Of course, the soundtrack for this game plays into the gameplay, so when you move pieces left and right, it's going to affect how it sounds. But I 100% recommend, if you haven't already, for those of you that do love the soundtrack, to check it out on any music streaming platform, because the quality of the release is much higher than what you hear in game, or more like standalone. Whereas in game, you know, you're supposed to have the pieces kind of play along with the music. Even the multiplayer soundtrack in the recently expanded soundtrack on Bandcamp, Spotify, etc. It hits hard. I love the Score Attack soundtrack. It sounds so nice when you listen to it outside of game as well. You don't get the full experience when listening to music on its own. Yeah, I feel like it's it complements a game, right? Although I think some people actually probably listen to the soundtrack for Tetris Effect before they actually play the game. It is a pretty well-liked soundtrack for gaming. Alright, I think that's game number 2 in the bag. I believe in you, numbers. Shock saying they listened to the soundtrack a bit before they bought the game. Yeah, I wonder how many people that was the case for. What level we want? Want to mix it up? You know what? Let's do that level 10. Let's mix up the color. The same speed. 10 through 11 is the same speed, but the higher the level, the higher the score output. But let's go with these OG level 0 colors. Level 0, 10, 20, 30. Anyone with a 0 last digit has the same color scheme. I think my favorite color scheme is probably level 24 or level 4. Level 14 for 24. Or 34 if you're a pro. Giovanni from Instagram saying, I have almost never played Tetris because they are my favorite games from my childhood. Well, you can play the old school version here in Tetris Effect if you want to keep to that OG experience, in addition to a slew of other game modes. I know that came off as a marketing response, but I mean, I love this game, so I am going to endorse it for sure. Do you say that as in like, I don't want to ruin the experience I had with this game? I do think Tetris Effect stands alone in its own way with the audio-visual tie-in to the piece movement, stuff like that. I mean, right now we're just playing the multiplayer mode, some community matches, but yeah, I think most people with this game experience Tetris Effect in single player through the journey mode. Journey mode is usually the first thing people play, and that's a whole trip between the multiple levels and whatnot, which I'd be happy to share if you are unfamiliar. Yes, those of you that are new to our community streams, we do this. We have recently started doing these every Friday. So if you are looking to play a random match against other members of the community, hopefully around the same skill level, we welcome all skill levels to participate. If you want some nerd talking over your game, breaking it down as if it's a high-level sporting event, it can be fun. We can have some fake hype, or I can get real hype, if that is what you desire. But we also cover different game modes depending on the week. Not only multiplayer, but some single player as well. If you're just more of a casual single player type of gamer. And I said fake hype, but I mean real hype. I am going to get hype over any Tetris match. Alright, so numbers, good games, good try. Top out. Ooh, policy changes is in here. Would you like to play? Oh, also I just saw we have Sweeny wants to play at around 7700 rating, which is pretty high. Numbers, thanks for the games. How do the single player showcases work? I think we might build on it in the future. We're definitely open to ideas. But last time we just kind of, so every weekend is a weekend ritual, which I think a lot of even the casual players are familiar with, or people new to the game, is that every Saturday we have a separate playlist depending on the week. So that rotates every 4 weeks between classic, relax, focus, and adventurous. You know what? Let's actually pull up effect notes right now, just to break it down here. So when you boot up Tetris Effect Connected, here's the screen you see. Actually, it's a little cropped here on The vertical, I apologize. This might be hard to see the game modes here. But yeah, so classic being the top modes, and we have the relax modes, focus modes, and adventure modes. And each weekend we focus on one of these playlists for a community-driven goal, which can be fun to play in. Or if you want to work on a specific game mode for that weekend, it's a good time to do it to unlock special single-player avatars. And if you participate in an event, you get usually, if the community goal is reached, you get a specific rare avatar, which is hard to get. It's really, really hard to get every avatar at Tetris Effect. So participating in all the weekend rituals is almost a necessity. There are some that only appear like once or twice throughout the year. But yeah, as for the community showcases, we're thinking about some other ideas. Maybe we'll feature like more than one person on the screen at one time, if that makes sense. So let's go to my camera for a moment as we hide the room code. This is me, if you want to know who you're talking to. Okay. I'm gonna set up a new classic score attack lobby. Policy, I will tag you as well if you want to play. Oh, was my mystery not SS? So, okay, here's one thing. I play on, like, every platform, so my high scores are dispersed among the platforms. I think my highest mystery is probably... I want to say on Xbox? I might be wrong. Okay. Drop the room code in the Discord. And yes, for any of you that want to try it in Master, I can showcase some Master mode. We have some probably better Master mode players than me in here, but I did clear it once. It'd be nice if there was a way to, yes, easier said than done, to synchronize all of your progress among the platforms. Fortunately for multiplayer, that's not an issue, but for single player, it is. All your scores are platform-based, which can be nice for certain platforms, like MetaQuest. It's like harder to play with quest controls, for example, right? So it's kind of fair in a way to be platform-based. All right, Sweeny, we can maybe we can play a match until someone else challenges you here, if you're okay with that. Otherwise, let's get started with it. So Sweeny is up to bat here. They prefer level 15, so we'll do some level 15 starts. Mambo saying they lose to Sweeny all the time in ranked. We'll see if they can crush it here on their community showcase matchup here. So yeah, a good rule of thumb for classic score attack strategy-wise, have that Tetris wall on the right, keep it simple. Typically, you want to build a high left well so that you are able to have a board that can accommodate multiple pieces without there being an issue. As you can see on the left here, like there's an issue with the stacking because the left is not high enough, so it's harder to burn like safety lines because you're not always going to be able to get Tetrises. So you want to have your board set up so that you can have some kind of escape plan for when the pieces do not go your way, because you are going to have situations where you do not get long bars. Yeah, that is one thing that's kind of brutal about classic Tetris versus the modern variants is the piece generation is random, so there will be times where you go really far without a long bar. As you can see on our screen right now, there's a counter. You see TRT and DHT. TRT stands for Tetris rate, so how many Tetrises versus lines cleared, pretty much. And DHT stands for drought, which is the number of pieces you've gone without getting a long bar. So sometimes that can get as high as like I can't remember what the record is in a competitive match, but it's really up there, like 80 plus. It might even be closer to 100, which is insane and very, very unlucky. But a lot of classic Tetris matches have happened in the history of the game. So if you're like, man, I'm getting super unlucky, turn on that, I believe, yeah, you have to enable it, the counter. Turn on that drought counter and be like, yeah, look, I can justify why I topped out because I didn't get a long bar with like within 50 pieces or something like that. The highest you've seen is 55. I've definitely seen like closer to 70. I think from Scotto Bozo. Poor Scotto Bozo. Might have even been higher than that. Is there any reason why the extra statistics aren't on by default, like you would see on the OG NES? I think for one, it probably takes up a lot of screen real estate. It probably doesn't like fit within the art direction of Tetris Effect as much. I can't 100% confirm that, but that would be my guess. Because keep in mind that this was initially a versus mode. Of course, you can play it now in single player, but that wasn't always the case. So once the single player mode was created, there probably wasn't really a plan for a statistics screen to begin with. But to make up for that, there is a drought counter and Tetris rate counter, which is not actually in the OG game. So that is unique. And inspired by the classic Tetris World Championship. Alright, so I think at 100 lines here, we are going to, yes, move into higher speed. So level 16 through 18 is actually the same speed level. However, 18 scores higher than 16. So Tetris on level 18 would be worth more than Tetris on level 16. So the longer you survive, the more score you can get from Tetrises. And it looks like Sweeny made some mistakes, and we are only behind by 80 points. So we are just going to take a quick single or double and top out. Yes, to enable Tetris rate and drought, I believe it's under gameplay settings. Actually, might be under. I think it's under gameplay settings. Yeah. So options, then gameplay. It should be within that list. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but it should be within gameplay. I don't have to enable or disable it too often, so apologies. If not, it's probably up under graphics. And then why is that not enabled by default? That's a good question. It might be like information overload for some people. And it's not like true to the classic Tetris. I wouldn't be opposed to having it enabled by default, but yeah, it's not a default setting. It was more customized for like tournament play, or meant for tournament play rather. Oh, it isn't graphics. Okay, so I was wrong. Sorry about that. Yeah, if you want to enable the Tetris rate and the drought counter, head to graphics. Graphics options. And of course, I know a large amount of our player base is single-player based, but if you are ever interested in learning or competing in community tournaments and whatnot, there's always something going on. Whether it's classic score attack, I think we probably have the most zone battle tournaments from community tournament organizers, but there definitely is a classic score attack as well. I think we just recently had a classic score attack tournament, which was pretty fun because it enabled T-spins. T-spins and perfect clears had bonuses, so that kind of mixed up the gameplay. Looks like Sweeny has kind of an issue filling out their left. The long bar is going to really help. They're almost Tetris ready once they can fill out the left here. Yeah, apparently Sweeny has been throwing down on the ranked classic score attack ladder. We definitely have some community members that are on that ladder a lot. So if you get to that like 7K plus range, you're going to see a lot of the core community classic score attack players if you put in the time. A little dicey there on the left. Some safety burns. This should allow Sweeny to get caught up a little bit. To go for some Tetrises as well. Allowing burning away here. that Sweeny takes the lead ever so slightly. Same line count too, so it is a very small true lead. If someone has a lead and it's like the same line count, that just means they've been just a little bit more efficient. Sweeny first hit that 100 line mark, and now we're going to get new colors every 10 lines. That's where the intensity drives up a bit. And then the next speed increase is at level 19, and then there's no more speed increases until level 29 if we get that far. One thing is, yeah, depending on the level of skill level of the player, got to be wary of that level 19 speed transition. So we'll get a little faster, so you want your board to be accommodated. Or you want your board to be ready to accommodate that speed increase. Unfortunately, Sweeny does top out before that transition. So we'll go into game number 3. Casual Tetris like it's 1989. That is true. And this may be our last match of the night. I don't know if policy changes as round wants to play, but other than that, if anyone wants to request anything else before we sign off, because it is a bit of an earlier sign off, feel free. If there's anything specific you want to see or any questions, anything you're curious about, feel free to drop it in the chat. And you can explore that game mode or your question to some degree. I'm sure somebody here in the chat would have an answer to any Tetris Effect related question. Almost any. Do you know which mode the next community showcase will be? It will be Connected Versus, which is one of my favorite community showcase modes. So probably connected as well. So we might just do like co-op versus AI. But yeah, that's always fun because we can cycle in a lot of players. And there's a lot of variety to the Connected Versus gameplay, in my opinion. So I think that's my favorite community showcase game mode. Connected Versus is like a great casual competitive vibe. And if you're not a competitive person, it is also a co-op mode, so you can play co-op versus AI, which also can be very tricky if you turn on like the extra high difficulties in custom games. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow is the Luminous community hangout. That should be fun. I will be there for that. Yeah, Luminous's game I want to get better at, just as someone that loves puzzle games. I think the sentiment usually is like Tetris is easier to learn, harder to master, whereas Luminous is kind of like tricky to learn right away. It doesn't feel quite as intuitive, but I guess Sentiment is also like Luminous, can be easier to master once you get a knack for it. Yeah, much. Oops, didn't mean to do that emote. Much like Tetris Effect, Luminous has a fun soundtrack to play the game too. So it's actually a pretty cool, casual puzzle game. I play it on my Switch a lot, especially if I'm traveling. Puzzle games and on the go just go hand in hand for me. And it's also available on Steam Deck. I know we have a lot of Steam Deck Tetris Effect players now as well. Pretty much all of our games are available on Steam Deck. Uh-oh. A little high here on the... oh, got bailed out. Humanity is also a great on-the-go puzzle game. No! Sweeny, the high center there. I looked a little crazy. GG's. Tetris Effect on Steam Deck, is there any way to change your region to anything other than the US? Yes. I think on Tetris Effect, or I'm sorry, on Steam Deck specifically, you have to head into gameplay options to adjust your country, I believe. Whereas on the computer, it's tied to your Windows PC settings. On Steam Deck, you actually have to go in and manually change it. A lot of people also think it's tied to the effect mode globe, which it's not. There is an option that you have to adjust. Thanks for the game, Sweeny. We will be having more classic score tech showcases. If you want to get revenge in the next stream, I'll be happy to have you. But hopefully you had fun. Mambo wants to get revenge versus Sweeny, so we can do that. We can do that next time. All right, so I think that should do it for tonight's matchups. What can we do to cool off here? We can mix it up for the last game mode. Or Mambo. It looks like Sweeny still wants to play a game. If you do want to get your revenge right here, right now, if you're up for it. All right, we'll get Mambo in here versus Sweeny. Sweeny seems pretty good. The room code is in the Discord. Just for time's sake, we're going to do a first to two, if that's okay. Oh, there's Mambo. But yeah, this will be our last game of the night. And if you want to play in the future, be sure to join our Discord at discord.gg/enhance and sign up for that community events ping or role. And you'll be made aware of any upcoming community events, typically on Fridays and Saturdays. Unless there's like any upcoming holidays, we might mix it up. So final set of the night. Thanks for everyone that participated tonight and hung out for a little bit. Always nice to have you. Fun fact, this lobby is also being broadcasted to our Steam page. So some people who may be looking at the store page for the first time might be watching this match, which is always fun. Ooh. Tricky placement from Mambo, but it worked out. Did it really? I didn't know that, huh? I think I remember watching the trailer, but that's probably blind to the negativity just because I love Tetris. Yeah, before I worked at Enhance, of course, I was a massive Tetris fan. I am still a Tetris fan. Epic still gets a lot of flack for that, right? Or no, they still have a active people that don't like Enhance player base, right? Or not Enhance, excuse me. Everyone loves Enhance. People that don't like Epic. All right, Mambo, you got your revenge in game 1 here. I'm sure Sweeny won't let it slide for game number 2. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling. We'll see if that premonition is correct. Slightly congested, but it's alright, we're about to finish up here. Okay. Pretty even Stevens to start out here. Let's go for the long haul. Let's prioritize survivability and hit those later levels. I believe in you guys. Yeah, I'm not personally not too experienced with Linux. I've used it in the past for some like programming kind of stuff, or because it's super lightweight, right? Which is nice for certain kind of machine setups. But other than that, I haven't used it much. nice Tetris from Sweeny. Just clears up the right well, and is Tetris ready. Will that long bar come? There it is. Tetris from Mambo, ahead by 4,000, which is just a few single line clears away. But they're also ahead by 6 lines, so very even match. Drops another Tetris. Ooh, that was like, is that 3 or 4 long bars in a row? Pretty good luck for Mambo. One thing to note is when you play in versus, you do have the same exact piece set as your opponent, so it's like there usually isn't the defense of, oh, I was a lot luckier than you, or you just had luckier pieces. You get the exact same pieces. You can't control your fate to some degree. Obviously, like, your stacking methods may come into play, but that's also part of it. Part of the competitive edge you might be able to create for yourself. Mambo is a bit high here, and yeah, as you see, these pieces lock in instantly in Classic, so one mistake at that stage of your board, and it is lights out. So Sweeny has 2 minutes to clear 20,000 points. As soon as Mambo tops out, that hurry-up timer kicks in. So that should just be 1 Tetris and some change. And honestly, you could probably even line it out, meaning you can probably just go for singles, doubles, and triples, and still accommodate that score gap in a 2-minute span. But sometimes there's like 100 to a 200,000 point lead or gap that you have to cover, and yeah, you'll have to be pretty Tetris heavy. So kind of assess the situation and strategize depending on that situation. There just takes a triple, only 4,000 left. Sweeny was stacking for that Tetris, but looks like they were going to play it safe. And now they're even pressing down to make it move a little quicker. Make sure they can get those singles. And one more single should do it, and boom, single for Sweeny, going to take that win. So we will have a tiebreaker for the final match of the night. Is push down even worth in Classic Score Attack? It depends. At high level, it's usually doesn't make too much of a difference. The one thing to note is if you push down, you're going to be moving into the future, right? So if you maintain a strong efficiency and say your opponent is having some issues, if you manage to like top out after pushing down a lot, it's going to create a larger score gap for your opponent to try to overcome, right? So if you're like, say, 100 lines ahead, that means you had 100 lines of score opportunities that your opponent hasn't had yet because you were pressing down. So you can maybe take advantage of that hurry-up timer when you press down on Classic Score Attack, or if it's super close, sometimes those push down points can come into play. It's very rare, but yeah, some players still press down and live by that method. Really, I think the most advantageous thing to it is taking advantage of that hurry-up timer. Alright, a slightly stronger start for Mambo here, as you can see with that Tetris rate. So 60% Tetris rate, which is the TRT that you see under the speed level, and a 45% Tetris rate for the Sweeny. Other thing you should usually look at when you're spectating classic Tetris is the line count and see who's far ahead. Because you can use that to assess who's actually playing more efficiently throughout the whole span of the game. So Mambo needs to take some line clears here, try to get back to that right well. Sweeny is on that right well, but not getting a long bar, so I'm gonna have to take some safety burns, waiting patiently. And yeah, ideally, Sweeny has some really strong stacking on this right well currently. You want to set it up so that you can accommodate any piece on that right well, if it makes sense, because if you don't get that long bar, you're gonna have to throw some piece to the right. So like even like a slope like this is a good thing. Thing is, when you do that slope, yeah, you want to try to. It doesn't always pan out this way, but pretty much if you have a higher left and slope downwards, like Sweeny's board kind of does right now, you can accommodate pretty much any piece, which is really nice. So try to aim for the highest point of your stack on the far left, and kind of slope down to the right. You might not always see that to be the case at the highest level, just because players respect each other and they're trying to squeeze out as many Tetrises as possible, just knowing how strong their opponent is. Ooh, nice burn. That T-piece from Sweeny. Still waiting for that long bar. I feel like they've been Tetris ready for forever here. Not too many long bars. Same with Mambo. Mambo's Tetris ready. Wants to get a little bit higher on the left side to create that clean stack. And actually a very nice board for Mambo right now into that Tetris. Boom. Tetris for Mambo and Tetris for Sweeny. One thing, there is a high-level strategy that you can employ in classic score attack. So Mambo is slightly ahead on pieces currently. So what I mean by that is, if you know your opponent is a little bit ahead on the piece sequence, you can actually see if they get a Tetris, you know that you're going to get a Tetris soon, right? Or a long bar soon. So whether it's the noise, if you just go by the auditory cue, you'd be like, oh, I heard the Tetris noise, and I know I'm a little bit behind on pieces, which means, first off, Mambo's going to top out here. Which means I can play a little bit aggressive and know that I'm going to get a long bar soon. So you can use that to your advantage, or try to like play slightly behind your opponent in the piece sequence, just so that you can, in a way, get a larger piece preview than you're allowed to have, which is unique to multiplayer, and also used in live events between high-level players in classic Tetris. Screen watching, I guess, is the term for it. But here in Tetris Effect, it's actually very easy to screen watch because the opponent's board is literally right next to you, whereas in a live classic Tetris tournament, you're going to have to look at their TV, their old school CRT television. But Sweeny is not in the clear just yet. The speed level is increasing. They're just going to want to keep their board super low here and just try to. That triple is going to be tremendously helpful. And I just think a few more singles should do it. And Sweeny maintains no revenge for Mambo just yet, but Mambo, maybe you can get revenge on the ladder. You also did get a point in there, so slight revenge. You didn't win big picture, but you still took a game off Sweeny here. And ranked is best of one, right? So if you imagine it to be a ranked match, you would have had one. All right, good games. That was a nice match to end it up on. Pretty even matchup. Yeah, thanks for the games, all of you. Happy to have people play, and always fun to spectate. Do some shout casting of some sort. Yes, always happy to host. Next Friday is Connected Versus, so we can join forces. Join forces next week, unless you're the boss. But yeah, we'll probably play some Connected versus AI, and then Connected versus other players. So be ready for that next Friday. And with that, we are going to call it. I might raid somebody here on Twitch. Let me see if there's anybody online here. Maybe we can say hi to Classic Tetris. As we are playing Classic Tetris tonight. So we can watch some more Classic Tetris on the Twitch TV/Classic Tetris channel if you're on Twitch. So say hi there. Let them know they are awesome, or something along those lines. So I'm going to set up that raid. I don't know if I can do it in this chat. 1 sec. There we go. All right. Let me do my closing spiel. There I am. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in for yet another edition of the Community Showcase. Yeah, next week we are doing Connected Versus once again. I guess we typically rotate through the multiplayer modes and mix in some single player. I think after Connected Versus, we might try to set up another unique, like, invitational kind of thing, like we did with Blue Scooty, Fractal, or not Fractal, Miles, Sodium, etc. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, we'll see you next Friday. Also tomorrow we have the Luminous Remastered Hangout. If you are interested in Luminous at all, stop by. A lot of the top players like to stop by for that as well, so it's usually a great place to learn in a casual voice hangout kind of set up in our Discord. So yes, I think I said enough. I will see you guys next Friday.